Hello guys, this is Ria from the Curious Cinnamon. Welcome back. Today we're gonna be making the best coffee cupcakes you will ever eat with a Swiss meringue buttercream that will literally melt in your mouth. Let's make them. You'll need 5 eggs, separating the whites. I prefer doing 1 egg at a time to ensure no shells and also to prevent ruining the entire batch if the yolk breaks. Squeeze half of a lime. This gives stability, hence provides volume and thickness for our egg whites. Continue beating until the egg whites are frothy and white. Take 2/3 cup of sugar, add 1 tablespoon at a time, add the next once the sugar is completely incorporated. Occasionally scrape down the sides and bottom of the bowl to ensure thorough mixing. Continue beating on medium-high until you get stiff beads. Cover the meringue and set it aside. Take the yolks, toss in the remaining sugar, give it a stir. Continue mixing on medium-high until it attains a pale yellow color. I prefer to beat my egg whites first when my whisks are clean and dry. You may change the process according to preference. To a bowl, pour in 1/4 cup of warm milk, add in a concoction of 2.5 teaspoons of instant coffee dissolved in 2 teaspoons of water. Give this a good stir and pour it in. Pour in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and continue mixing until you get a homogeneous mix. Pour in 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and continue beating until everything is combined. Time for the dry ingredients. Take a sieve, toss in 2/3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of baking powder and sift it through. Stir with the spatula, incorporating together the dry and the wet ingredients. When everything is combined, it should have a ribbon-like consistency. Now it's time to fold in the egg whites. Take 1 or 2 dollops of the whipped egg whites and start folding it into the coffee egg yolk mixture. You can be heavy-handed at this stage of mixing. Pour in the base mixture into the whipped egg whites and start folding gently without compromising the airiness of the whipped egg whites. Continue folding till everything is combined. The final batter will be considerably lighter and will have a silky texture. Take any paper cups of your choice and fill up to 3/4 of it with the coffee cake batter. This batter should give you about 19 to 20 medium-sized cupcakes. You may also bake them in tiny ramekins. Make sure to grease only the bottom layer of the ramekin or place a parchment paper. Place them in a preheated oven at 150 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. I'm using a convection mode oven here. The cakes will puff up beautifully in the oven, but once it cools down, it will shrink slightly. Now set them aside to cool and let's get started with the Swiss meringue buttercream frosting. To 2 teaspoons of hot water, add half a teaspoon of instant coffee, half teaspoon of cocoa powder to enhance the flavor, give it a stir and set it aside. Separate 2 egg whites, add to it half cup of crushed granulated sugar and give it a whisk. This is a trick I use to ensure thorough melting of the granulated sugar. Place the bowl over simmering water, ensuring the water doesn't touch the bowl. Continue whisking, keeping the temperature at low, checking occasionally if the sugar has completely melted. Once the mixture feels smooth, remove it from the heat and start beating the mixture at low followed by medium-high speed. Continue beating until the meringue has completely cooled down and forms stiff peaks. Pour in the coffee cocoa mixture and combine everything. At this stage, add in 3/4 cup of room temperature butter 1 tablespoon at a time, making sure to completely incorporate between each addition. Halfway through the process, you'll notice some curdling, which is completely normal. Continue mixing until you get a thick, rich meringue buttercream. This icing is so stiff and pipeable, you'll make it every single time. Turn the piping bag over a tall glass and fill it with the icing. Twist the top of the bag, pushing the icing towards the tip and secure it between the index and the third finger. Squeeze with your left hand and orient with your right. Start icing from the outer corner and circle back to the center. Drizzle some chocolate syrup or melted chocolate to give your cake some dimension. The cake is so soft and moist, and the icing melts in your mouth. The cake's flavor enhances after refrigeration for at least half hour. This is the cake I made in the ramekin. Do give this a try at home and enjoy. Bon appétit!